All right, here we are. Hello, welcome to the launch of Artemis 2. This is very exciting. First time humans have visited the moon since 1972. Now, of course, I'm sure that you already know we are not landing on the moon for this mission, but we will be going around the moon, but not in an orbit. We will just be doing a flyby of the moon essentially and doing free return back to Earth. So got pulled up here, all stream credit. Let me fix that real quick actually for y'all. But all stream credit goes to NASA here. Um, I am listening to NSF at the same time as I am talking to y'all. So I'm kind of doing some multi. Sorry, I should have checked that before I started the stream. Anyways, okay, this is a very, very exciting day in space flight. So here I've got my Lego Artemis set all pulled up here. And we have already, let me get live here. Sorry. We have already worked through multiple issues with Artemis so far. But I do want to update y'all on our clock real quick. We're looking right now about L minus 22 minutes, roughly. Um, we've navigated, I'm going to go over these two main issues that we have had so far. Flight termination, FTS issue. That was fixed real quick. Everything was go afterwards. And currently, it's too high or too low. Um, we just know that the battery temperature is not in the proper range needed for launch. They are currently working on it, and we will see how it goes. This is a it's a very exciting day. I mean, this is the first time humans are visiting the moon in over 50 years. It's 54 to be exact, a little under 54. So this is very, very exciting. Weather is great. We're 90% go for weather. We're expecting launch at 24 minutes from now, roughly. We will have a L minus T minus 10-minute hold.
Integrity copies.
Okay, great call outs there. They are configuring the Space Launch System for terminal count now. And we just saw a crew head out of the pad. I am, every time I try and hear the NASA flight crew talk, I'm going to mute myself and unmute my desktop so you can hear what the NASA mission control team has to say. We are now entering terminal count at T minus 10 minutes. We will take a T minus 10-minute hold. That's just to do last minute checks on the system and everything. Gosh, they keep interrupting every time we're trying to talk. It's fine. Um, it's very, very exciting times that we've got going on here. Like I said, first time in over 50 years that we have visited the moon. The mission profile, we are looking like we'll have launch hopefully at 5:24 Central Time, 6:24 Eastern Time. Um, sorry, my stream is all going weird. But we're going to launch. We will get into an elliptical orbit, which then we will raise perigee, which is our lowest point in our orbit. We'll raise it, get into a slightly more elliptical orbit, and then after that, we will start a TLI or a translunar injection burn, and that burn will really help us um, get slingshot essentially towards the moon. There will not be a retrograde moon orbit, and we will not orbit the moon at all. Instead, we'll just kind of loop around the moon and get about 8,000 kilometers from the surface of the moon. We'll loop back around, do what's called a free return back to Earth, where we just do a couple correction burns to correct the path to a splashdown off the coast of San Diego.
Hey, see?
Sorry, it's NASA. Double checking on everything. Okay, I had to refresh my page in which y'all are getting audio mission control from because my Wi-Fi is not liking me right now. Give it just a moment, and then we'll get mission commentary back. It's just being real slow today. Okay, we are back. Good. Let's see. So, while I'm thinking about it, we're going to go over the crew of Artemis, and let me make sure this is muted. Yes, okay. So, while I'm thinking about it, let's go over the crew of Artemis 2. Our commander is Reed Wiseman. He is a NASA astronaut and retired U.S. Navy from Baltimore. He was also former NASA chief astronaut and spent 165 days on the ISS in 2014, completing 2 spacewalks. Pilot Victor Glover, he is also a NASA astronaut, and he is a U.S. Navy captain trained in Kingsville, Texas. Mission Specialist 1, Christina Cope, NASA astronaut from Jacksonville, North Carolina, and she will be the first woman to orbit the moon and leave LEO, low Earth orbit. And Mission Specialist 2, Jeremy Hansen, the first Canadian astronaut to orbit the moon. Not orbit the moon, but leave LEO.
This is an instrumentation failure, that there's something wrong with the sensor. And so they took it before the mission management team, which has to accept the risk, any changes to launch commit criteria, which this would be one, and they all fully accepted it. So now we are clear as far as that constraint is concerned. And one quick thing, now we are getting into the final minutes before liftoff. There's a 2-hour window. We haven't quite set the T0 yet, but this is a list of the cutout. That's important because there's basically 16 minutes inside this window.
Okay. That was just an update from NASA saying that they did have a instrument failure earlier. Um, as far as I'm concerned, I couldn't catch some of it. I think we're still good. Um, we do have a 2-hour launch window. Um, let's keep listening in.
The launch window as we go forwards. Range in time between 2 seconds to 23 seconds, but you'll hear the NASA test director talk through that. We're getting ready to merge that loop from NASA test director Jeff Spaulding.
I think here Daryl's talking about cutouts, but we really need to explain what.
Okay, let's explain what cutouts means. There's tons of satellites in orbit around space, such as Starlink, LEO, all of those. Um, essentially, cutouts, it's like, I'm trying to find the best way to explain. It's essentially just holes in space that they can launch through. So, it's essentially just like gaps in all space debris and all that that you are able to launch through. You do have a team constantly monitoring the orbits around Earth because you don't want to hit something on the way up. And the chances of that happening are highly unlikely, but you always want to be safe. Now, the stream where I am getting my mission audio from, my mission control audio, is not liking me. It's being real weird. So I'm just going to keep double checking on it, making sure providing me a constant live feed. Let's I'm doubting myself. Um, so right now, there's my error. Okay, it's fine. So we're here about L minus 17 minutes from launch. Um, we will take a T minus 10-minute hold in which we will just stop the clock as we enter terminal count, hit some last minute checks and all that. And I need to do my own last minute checks because my mission commentary is not cooperating with me. um, let's why not? Let's listen in real quick to what our NASA friend is saying up here. Let me get it all pulled up real quick. I gotta redo it.
CCL.
Yes, sir. Reconfigure ARS primary loop ISO valves.
Copy, that's in work.
And CDR OTC, you're on Earth 1.
Go.
ARS loop ISO valves are being closed at this time.
Integrity copies.
NGDLP.
Go.
Yes, I had a discussion with sea ice and with MER manager regarding the observation the sea ice had a few minutes ago. They were able to confirm with BCI photos that the condition that they observed has been there since 2025. MER manager has had a chance to review the findings, and they do not have any constraints from either a sea ice or MER manager perspective.
Okay. Copy all. And Launch Director, NTD, you copy?
Yes, sir. I copy. That's good news.
OTC, CCL 212.
OTC.
ARS primary loop isolation valve configuration is complete.
Copy.
All right, receiving some great news there from the NASA team. Let me keep my know what's going on here. It's still being okay. It just requested a T minus 10-minute hold. Come on, my stream keeps getting out, so I can't get the live info to y'all. We have now entered our T minus 10-minute hold. I want to say let's tune in here.
Stand by. Let me look. It did look like it did persist for several seconds on mine, but let me take a look at the number of samples.
Could I get a repeat on the affected LCC, please?
Yes, ma'am. That's going to be O-CT-004.
Thank you.
I'll see if we can hop in real quick. I don't know if they'll keep talking there, but let's translate some of what you just heard.
All right. So, like Doss just said for NASA's spaceflight, we're going to explain what NASA just said here. So they are going to essentially, they're going to fix a few things during this hold, and this is a normal hold. Sorry, we're getting more info here.
Seconds. So I would love to ask KUS and see if they also lost lock with the vehicle for any extended amount of period.
And COSE, while we're doing that, these are 1/10 hertz measurements, correct? So we would have had to lose it for over 10 seconds to get a second sample?
Yes, sir. That's correct. It is 1/10 hertz.
Yeah, so from our perspective, the allowance is effectively up to 30 seconds, up to 3 samples based on the 1/10 hertz. This is not an LCC violation, I believe.
Yes, sir. I would agree with that at this point. Copy that.
We're checking with KUS on 232. I don't think they have 212 access. We're trying to verify, but it sounds like they have a loss of lock as well. About 2 seconds.
Okay. And I guess for both KUS and COSE, do we have lock now?
That's affirmed. We do have lock for COSE.
They're talking about a
So
brief
from the
data
integrated console
dropout.
perspective, we did have a temporary loss there within the allowable and per the requirement.
Essentially, what we just heard from NASA is they did lose a little bit of data in a brief dropout, but they are still within a go range.
OSC, then are we in a go configuration per your LCC?
Yes, sir. Recommendation would be go.
Okay. LP, you concur with that?
Yes, sir. LP concurs go.
And Launch Director?
Yes, sir. Launch Director concurs go.
Huh.
All right, and I'm going to go ahead and just verify everybody has everything else complete, Launch Director, and if we do, we'll be ready to pick up the poll.
An ad. Okay. Great call outs there from Control. We are hearing goes across. We should resume into terminal count. Excellent news. We will be here approaching launch pretty soon. We are hearing great. Keep going. We are hearing great call outs here from Mission Control. We are going into launch poll. Let's listen.
Go for the poll.
All right. And for all, verify ready to resume count and go for launch. OTC.
OTC is go.
STC.
STC is go.
GTC.
C's go.
MCO.
COs go.
Safety Console.
Safety Console is go.
LPE.
LPs go.
Is go.
STC.
STC is go.
GTC. RTD.
RTD's go. C's go.
MCO.
COs go.
Safety Console.
Safety Console is go.
LPE.
LPs go.
RTD.
RTD's go.
Houston Flight.
Houston flight is go.
ROC.
Rock is go.
And CDR.
Cruise go.
Copy that. Thank you, Reed. And Launch Director NTD, our launch team is ready to proceed at this time.
All right, NTD, I copy all. At this time, I'll perform my poll. Attention on the net. This is the Launch Director performing the final poll for launch. Verify no constraints and go for launch. EGS, Program Chief Engineer.
Artemis Chief Engineers are go.
Copy, thank you. EGS, Chief Safety Officer.
The Artemis CSOs are go.
Copy, thank you. Range Weather.
Launch weather is go.
Thank you, LWO. And Artemis MMT Chair.
MMT's go.
Thank you, John. And Integrity Launch Director.
Good Air West Charlie PLT.
Thank you, Charlie. This is Victor. We are going for our families.
MS1.
This is Christina. We are going for our teammates.
MS2. This is Jeremy. We are going for all humanity. All right, Charlie, your Artemis 2 crew is go for launch. Full send.
Go for launch. Let's
I copy
do
that.
this.
Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy.
Let's go.
On this historic mission, you take with you the heart of this Artemis team the daring spirit of the American people and our partners across the globe, and the hopes and dreams of a new generation. Good luck. Godspeed, Artemis 2. Let's go.
That's amazing. We are go for launch of Artemis 2 and SLS. We are proceeding with terminal count. This is great. Great news over here. Amazing that we are just 10 minutes away from the launch and setting history for the first time in over 50 years. This is great callouts. Having a rocket this big and only flying for its second time, and having all sorts of problems, it is great to have all goes across the board first try without any sort of delays. We are entering terminal count here any moment now. And once we enter terminal count, that T-minus 10-minute clock will begin ticking down all the way until 0. Once we hit 0, excitement is guaranteed. Just, if you hear me stop talking, I'm listening to mission control over here. They're just talking about how they worked through all the issues that they've had today. Just as a reminder, we do have a 2-hour window that starts in about 1 minute. Within this window at 5:24 p.m. Central Time, I will believe we will enter terminal count. They are now verifying some final stuff before they proceed with terminal count. And let's go and listen in so you can hear what is going on. While they're not talking real quick, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to where I am not on camera so you can have a big full screen view of the launch.
So we're going into the launch window, but not by much, it looks like. Just wrapping up some final work. And once that's completed, you'll hear NASA Test Director Jeff Spaulding ask for the ground launch sequencer operator to go ahead and start the clock.
So here in just a few moments, we will enter terminal count. We are just waiting for the go from one control member. This is gonna be amazing. I am very excited. I'll wait for it. Let's listen in.
All right, and we're clear from cutouts. And with that, we're going to resume the clock momentarily. And CGLS, you can resume the clock on your mark.
GLS copies. 3, 2, 1, mark. GLS mainline has been initiated.
T-minus 10 minutes and counting.
Amazing. We have now entered terminal count. We are at T-minus 10 minutes and counting before the launch of Artemis 2 and making history for humanity. We have a scheduled T0 of 6:35 p.m. Eastern Time or 5:35 p.m. Central Time. So I'm just listening here to Mission Control. Of course, while we are in this terminal count here in this T-minus 10-minute count, there is the same person who gave the go to go into terminal count. He still has all the right. He still has all the right to pause the clock and recycle back to a T-minus 10-minute hold if needed, if something is wrong. Now we do have an exact T0 now. Our T0 is 6:35 and 12 seconds p.m. Eastern Time or 5:35 and 12 seconds p.m. Central Time. As we are entering these final few minutes into the countdown, it's just getting really exciting to watch. It's I think it's very exciting to be alive in a time where humanity is making history so much, whether it's from Starship or Artemis, or it doesn't even have to be related to rockets in any way. Just the accomplishments that we are making. It's amazing. Our next milestone, as you can see on screen there, crew access arm has retracted. This is excellent, as we are now coming on T-minus 7.5 minutes before launch. Crew access arm has just about fully retracted by now, and it just that's the path that astronauts took to get onto Integrity, and Integrity is the name of Orion, the capsule. And we are just they're moving that out of the way for the insane power and flames of Artemis of SLS as it lifts off. Um, while they will begin arming the launch abort system soon, and that is of course just in case something goes catastrophically wrong and you can't get the crew access arm back on. You just have to um, get them off, and this is all for the astronaut's safety. That launch abort system is that pointy top at the end of the rocket, which will pull the astronauts off of the rocket if needed. It's just critical, very critical safety hardware. Without the launch abort system, very bad stuff could happen if something were to go wrong in flight. Now, it is unlikely for something to go wrong in flight, but we have seen issues such as Columbia and Challenger, the space shuttle, where lives were lost due to issues with the spacecraft. And unfortunately, there is no sort of abort system you could do there, but that is why we have implemented an abort system here. So we're wishing the best of luck, best safety for all of the Artemis 2 crew here as we enter the final 6 minutes of our count. Range is go and weather is go. And as of right now, all the systems are go, so great, amazing callouts there. We should still be on track. We are go. They are now pressurizing the core stage. Excellent. Essentially, that means that the replenish valve for the liquid oxygen tank has now closed, and the core stage will begin to pressurize to proper flight levels as hydrogen begins to boil off. The boil off is completely normal, by the way. We are entering here to the final 5 minutes of terminal count. We are waiting for verification of arming of the launch abort system. Once we have that, I will let y'all know. We are just listening in for that call. I believe that was our proper call out. Yes, great news there. I believe launch abort system is armed, and we will be go. So if the rocket flies too far off track, which is highly unlikely, I want to mention that, the flight termination system will activate as the launch abort system pulls off the astronauts from the rocket. We are entering all sorts of final checks right now, involving fuel, cryogenics, pressure, hydraulics, all of that stuff, electrical, range, weather, battery temperature, everything. As we are now entering T minus 4 minutes to launch. Everything is starting to get real now, and it is very exciting. This is our first, in case you haven't heard, oh, sorry, I paused it. In case you haven't heard me say yet, this is the first crewed mission to the moon since December of 1972. We have core stage APU start, that is auxiliary power. At T minus 2 minutes and 30 seconds, so here in about a minute, we will see a gimbal of the engines, the RS-25 engines on the bottom, those 4 engines, will essentially turn across their field of range, and that helps control the rocket during launch, and this is a test. That vent that you see on the rocket right there is a helium purge. It's great news. We're entering here on T minus 3 minutes to launch of Artemis and the Artemis 2 crew. You go for that helium purge that I was just talking about. We are quickly moving through every single milestone. Here in about 10 seconds, we will be seeing the gimbal of those engines, which we have it pulled up here. Watch those 4 engines in the middle. Watch as they begin to turn and rotate. There they go. You can see them rotating, turning. This is testing the range of motion to control the vehicle during flight. Now, one of these engines here has actually flown to space before. You heard me right. It has flown on a space shuttle mission before, as part of the space shuttle's RS-25 engines. Now, it is important to note that these engines have been tested at their facility in Mississippi, so all engines are good. We are approaching here T minus 2 minutes. Everything is going great. This is great. I'm speechless with everything that's going on. Artemis 2, go Artemis 2. It's very exciting times. We're now switching to battery power from the tower as we approach T minus 1.5 minutes. If all goes well, the Artemis 2 crew will fly by the moon in just 6 days, making history with the first person of color and the first woman to leave low Earth orbit and reach the moon. Now, if you're just joining, oh, never mind, we are entering T minus 1 minute. We are going. Let's do this, entering this final minute of countdown. T minus 45 seconds and counting. The first humans to the moon since 1972. We are now approaching T minus 30 seconds. Here, in a few moments, I will be switching to audio, so you don't have to listen to me. You can listen to the great audio of the rocket. So, I will see you on the other end.
GLS, go for your left.
Great call out. The rocket is on its own. 4 brave explorers ready to ride the most powerful.
I want to keep talking. All right. There's hydrogen boil off. Ignition of the RS-25s. SRB and liftoff of Artemis 2 and SLS. History. History in the making. Excellent news here. Look at those views. Let's go. Godspeed, Artemis 2. We are going. We're going to the moon and beyond. We are entering the next frontier as humanity begins to travel back to Earth. We are having good roll pitch. Amazing, amazing views of this daytime liftoff from the Space Coast in Florida. Let's keep it going. Good callouts from Integrity. Amazing views. Oh, wow. Humans, crew of 4 going back to the moon for the first time since 1972. These are our onboard cameras that you just saw there. Let's just listen in on audio.
Mission elapsed time, passing 1 minute, approaching max Q.
And max Q. Max Q, the point of the most aerodynamic pressure on the vehicle. We have passed 1 minute and we are 1 minute and 30 seconds into flight. Integrity is supersonic 8 miles downrange from Kennedy Space Center, launch pad 39B. Amazing views. I loved having that daytime launch. The great views. Amazing. Wow. Come on, let's switch back to the rocket. Come on. We will be having. There's solid rocket booster jettison. You can see those two on the screen finishing off their burn as they have separated from the core stage. The core stage is the brighter dot on your screen. Continuing on. Amazing. Look at those views. Amazing live views from SLS as it continues on its way to its elliptical orbit around the Earth. The upper stage engine and RCS is ready. Priming of Integrity for SES is ready. 2 minutes and 45 seconds into the mission of Artemis 2. Amazing, amazing live views. The upper stage is ready. There is fairing separation for the upper stage, the ICPS. Amazing views right there. And that is stage separation. I want to say that is stage separation. Let's see. I never heard of Miko, so it might not be stage separation quite yet. Yes, we are standing by for launch abort jettison. There is the launch abort jettison. This is NASA's special thermal plane right here. The views that we are getting it from. This is amazing, amazing views of this daytime launch from 5:35 p.m. Central Time of Artemis 2 and SLS. Three minutes and 50 seconds into the flight. We have now crossed the boundary into space with good comms. Now checking accuracy of Integrity. Miko was confirmed at 8 minutes and 2 seconds, which is right whenever it is supposed to happen. I'm lost on my timing here. Sorry. Let's see. We are at T plus 4 minutes and 45 seconds and counting. First humans to the moon since December of 1972. It's just crazy to say that. Amazing that we are able to go first try. Getting good callouts over here for GPS. Awesome. Artemis and SLS are now heading straight towards the moon. Literally. As they are passing through, there is a beautiful moonrise right now. We had amazing views of liftoff here from the Cape. You can still see it in the sky there on your camera, that little dot in the center of your screen. We have 4 good engines on the stage. We should be expecting Miko at T plus 8 minutes and 2 seconds. We are approaching 10,000 miles an hour. It is important to note that the SLS vehicle can successfully get to orbit on only 3 engines, but I do want to note that we have 4. Integrity is good. Past 11,000 miles an hour now in speed, as we are approaching Miko in about a minute and a half. We have good trajectory and booster performance. We will be expecting nominal shutdown any moment. There's our shutdown, I think. Shutdown plan is expected. Yes, okay, sorry. Miko will be at main engine cutoff, which is Miko, will be at T plus 8 minutes and 2 seconds. We are now throttling down. Throttling down for Miko. We are 650 miles downrange, traveling at 15,000 miles an hour. Integrity's AOA is open. And we should have had Miko. The window is now open for a possible abort if needed, which would mean an early splashdown. At the time, we are not going for an abort. The only reason, and there is stage separation. You can see the ICPS separate from the core stage. Amazing views of stage separation there. Awaiting confirmation from mission control, even though we did see visual footage of it. Just waiting for this final call out here. Nominal Miko and nominal stage separation. Go Artemis, go SLS. This is great call outs that we are hearing. Amazing that we are able to go first try with no sort of delay other than the expected T minus 10-minute hold. The interim cryogenic propulsion stage is still attached to the Orion spacecraft as it puts itself into an elliptical orbit. Now in orbit around the Earth, and will be raising perigee soon to enter a highly elliptical orbit. Good callouts there from mission control. Who's listening here to Mission Control? We should see the ignition of our engine on the interim cryogenic propulsion stage, or ICPS, at T plus 49 minutes. I will not stay for that. In fact, we will go over a recap of the launch right now. So, let me get set up to do that. You know what? My Droid cam is off. Okay, it's fine. This was an absolutely amazing launch of the Artemis 2 mission and the SLS vehicle on its second flight, carrying Reed Wiseman, commander, Victor Glover, pilot, Mission Specialist 1, Christina Cook, and Mission Specialist 2, Jeremy Henson, I believe. The crew of 4 on its way to the moon for the first time since December of 1972, over 50 years ago. It is amazing the history that has been made. It was expected that 400,000 people would be in the Florida Cape Canaveral area today to watch the launch of Artemis 2. From what I saw here on the live stream, there was nothing short of 400,000. And the views, having our first daytime launch of the Artemis missions and the SLS vehicle was great. As you may recall, for Artemis 1 3 years ago, the launch of Artemis 1 mission in SLS occurred during the nighttime hours in early morning. So having a daytime launch was amazing. We had nominal ascent, nominal everything. Everything has been good. It's amazing to witness history and live at a time like this. Now, I do want to provide some updates as we go on throughout this 10-day mission. The crew of Artemis 2 should be arriving at the moon, its closest point, in about 6 days. It'll be getting within 8,000 kilometers of the moon, but will be traveling further than any human has ever gone. Just a little over the distance that I want to say Apollo 13 went on their mission whenever they suffered a LOX tank pressurization failure in which their LOX tank essentially blew up on its way to the moon. So, amazing. Amazing, amazing. It is, like I've said many times, it's amazing to live in a time like this. It's really good. The Artemis 2 crew will splash down in the Orion spacecraft nicknamed Integrity off the coast of, there's our sunset there from space. Anyways, off the coast of San Diego, coming here in about 10 days. It will be great. And future missions after Artemis 2, Artemis 3 will be launched sometime in 2027 and will be rendezvousing with one or two of the launch of the lunar lander contractors, which are SpaceX and Blue Origin. We'll be rendezvousing with the one or two vehicles in low Earth orbit, or LEO, to really test everything, all the systems, before going for a lunar landing in 2028 on Artemis 4. We still have many milestones coming up, such as solar panel deployment. I will not be staying for that, but you can go watch. I highly recommend you go check out NASA Spaceflight. They always provide a great stream. But I can't get over how amazing of a launch that was. It was amazing. Yeah, amazing. So, yeah, I'm speechless. It was a wonderful, flawless flight. I mean, it could not have gone better. Um, the Artemis 2 crew on their way to the moon. And this is where I will sign off for tonight. I really hope that you enjoyed the launch as much as I did. So make sure, I really tried to upgrade this live stream to try and make it better. So make sure, subscribe, like, and I will provide updates on my email newsletter. So sign up to that, cosmiccolonyt.substack.com. Subscribe to that. It's completely free. You get all sorts of breaking news emails directly to your inbox, all for free. I'll be sending out those emails and newsletters throughout the week with live updates from the Artemis 2 mission. And so with that, in just a few minutes, because they're saying something important. Okay, it wasn't that important. And with that, humanity's next frontier, traveling to the moon, Mars, and beyond, has begun. Thank you for tuning in, and I will